I'm from backseat bedtimes, gas station showers, the smell of uncertainty, a burden on my senses, 3 schools, 1 year. Wet dew on the grass let me know it was time from school. I'm from late night cuddles with the family to beat the force of the piercing night winds. I'm from trauma, from I get it from my mama, feeling expanding guilt for wanting a better life than my mama. She did her best, now I do the rest. I'm from breaking down barriers. Why are there barriers anyway? White people who never went to college tell me I have to go to college to be somebody because black girl work harder. Black girl be smarter, average doesn't make it. You have to be amazing, don't ever be an angry black girl. I'm from crying the first time I saw a sea. From fear, never shown, always felt inside. Don't show them what's inside, the little girl who never got a chance to live. I'm from rain clouds hit different in my neck of the woods. I'm from the hood where I never seen a rainbow or the silver lining. No crying, unstable, always fighting, mislabeled. Black girl, make magic from pain. Remember your name, handcrafted so you always have your family. Remember family. Remember the only thing that saved you was love and writing and the love of writing, so don't stop writing. I'm from unknown heritage I indulge in. My ancestors sit heavy in my soul. They healed wounds with laughter and love, and I am still learning. I am from the womb of a goddess. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kiki. Hi, welcome to the Claris Health City Lights Gala. Thank you. My name is Emily, and I am so excited to be your host for this evening's celebration. Welcome to all of you who are joining us here in person, and to all of you who are watching this live stream, although I'm sorry that you don't get the delicious food that we just ate. So hopefully you have snacks at home. My husband and I first heard of Claris when we had the opportunity to sponsor families for the holidays, and we got to provide them with gifts, toys for the kids, clothes for the parents, and with supplies, little things that they needed. It was a tiny gesture, but it felt good to be able to provide some practical needs and just a little bit of joy during a special time. And we've always been grateful that even as the volume of talking points and political opinions threaten to drown out the voices of the people that we are ultimately striving to help, Claris continues to pay attention to people first and to address their practical needs. Claris means clarity, and that's what we bring to people often facing challenging moments in life. This gala tonight is called City Lights, because Claris brightens this city with a very unique model of care called the Claris Way. Let's check it out.
This is Chanel. She thinks she might be unexpectedly pregnant. While searching for resources, she finds Claris and sets up an appointment using their simple online form. On her first visit, she's given a chance to explore all of her pregnancy options and connect with a patient advocate who will continue to walk with her throughout her journey. Besides providing initial medical services, Claris will be there to offer Chanel education, resources, and ongoing support. This may mean classes and material resources, counseling and support groups, prenatal care, or simply getting connected with our trusted community partners. Claris is there for each person in their unique journey. This is Chanel. She thinks she might be unexpectedly pregnant. While searching for resources, she finds Claris and sets up an appointment using their simple online form. On her first visit, she's given a chance to explore all of her pregnancy options and connect with a patient advocate who will continue to walk with her throughout her journey. Besides providing initial medical services, Claris will be there to offer Chanel education, resources, and ongoing support. This may mean classes and material resources, counseling and support groups, prenatal care, or simply getting connected with our trusted community partners. Claris is there for each person in their unique journey. Claris provides holistic care before, during, and after any pregnancy or sexual health concern. Throughout her journey, Chanel finds that Claris is committed to being there for her and her family, no matter how complex her needs or what choice is made. This is the Claris way. As 13,000 women have seen over the past decade, while you may walk in as a stranger, you always leave as family. Take your next step today at clarishealth.org.
I am particularly happy to be here this evening because, as you may or may not have noticed, we find ourselves in a pretty charged moment right now, a time when politics and talking points threaten to take precedence over people and the very lives that we're discussing. However, at a time like this, Claris, with its willingness to delve into gray areas and to stick with people without judgment, is needed more than ever. And regardless of laws or politics, Claris's focus has always been on caring for people. I am standing in front of more than 500 people gathered together to show support for this cause, and many of you are tuning in online, so thank you for choosing to be here with us. And right now, I would like to acknowledge a group of dedicated champions. Thanks to the generosity of our gala sponsors, every dollar raised tonight goes directly to programs. These individuals and companies so far have donated $287,000, which brings us halfway to our goal of raising $550,000 tonight. Yes, that is something to celebrate. And I got breaking news that's not even on the teleprompter that I'm reading from. That's how breaking it is. That prior to this event, there was a donator who has agreed to match every dollar donated up to $100,000. Yes, so start donating. But you don't have to wait until the end of the night to give. If you're watching online, you can click donate, and if you're in the audience, there are QR codes on the back of your meal cards, which are those cards with the cute little animals on them. Or you can wait for more instructions later tonight if you forget. We will keep reminding you. We want to take time tonight to celebrate the work Claris has done and the very real and lasting support it has given to make difficult decisions seem less impossible for women and their families. And there is a lot to celebrate in that department. In the last year, we cared for over 1,600 women, men, and their families in our clinics in West LA, South LA, and our mobile medical clinic, providing 5,800 services, including virtual classes, reaching people around the nation. We reached more than 7,000 teens, young adults, and parents in Los Angeles through our sexual health education program called Reality Check. We expanded our community partner list to include 270 agencies to provide specialized services and additional care. And right now, let's take a quick look at how these partnerships are making a difference.
I work for Alcoholism Center for Women. We are a rehab drug and alcohol program. I work as a residential counselor, and we had a training where Claris Health came and did a training for pregnancy and women. They have a one-stop shop for being pregnant all the way to the end. So I thought that was really special because a lot of women come in and they feel like they don't have any choices.
Medical needs and medical support is one of the biggest issues and barriers that we see with a lot of our families. Most of it because of the historical context, in our community and the experiences people of color have had with the medical system in general. So there's already an innate lack of trust for that system. And then coupled with the fact that a majority of our families have had negative experiences with child welfare within the medical system, there has been a significant gap. Finding that medical partner was really imperative for us, and not just any partner, but one that truly understood the community and truly supported the community. And that's really where Claris came in the picture for us. They understand those needs. They share the same mission and vision, and they saw the barriers as well. And so they developed a system that really supported with coming to the family, coming into the community to meet those needs instead of expecting the community to come to them.
Los Angeles is such a broken city, but we believe in a God who's making all things new by grace. And this city needs churches, organizations, communities, all playing different roles in that work. And Claris plays such an important and particular role in caring for babies, mothers, families, and being able to help people navigate the different resources in the healthcare system and all the complexities that are involved in that. I've personally witnessed Claris's impact on our church in so many different ways. And I don't primarily think about statistics or issues, but about people. I think of seeing the faces of people coming out of the mobile clinic and knowing that not only did they receive health care, but they received love and were treated as a person with dignity.
I know that when I refer a client to Claris, that they are going to be well taken care of, that they are going to be treated with respect, and that they are going to be really loved on. And when we get brand new clients from the streets or out of a DV situation or straight out of prison or from wherever they come from, they're scared, they don't know what to do, oftentimes they don't know where to turn, and they're very leery to trust anyone. And so I'm able to always eagerly refer our clients to Claris because I know that they will find a place that will actually care about them and take care of them in a really, really positive way.
I used to say that I was given away at birth. And Claris Health made me see that she didn't just give me away, she just placed me with where she thought I'd be safe because she couldn't take care of me. So that kind of brought up a whole new chapter in my life because I always felt like maybe I didn't matter to her. But it did, and I didn't know that. I didn't even know I still had emotions for it right now. But yeah, Claris Health made me see that that wasn't what happened. She just had her own problems, and it wasn't that she wanted to do that. She just didn't have any options. And what if she had those options that the women have today with what Claris Health is doing? That seems like that would have helped her a lot.
Claris really provides a lot of hope and a lot of joy and a lot of peace. And there are just not a lot of agencies that I can say that about, if I'm being really honest. I've been working in the nonprofit world in Los Angeles for 22 years, and Claris is one of my favorite partners because I know that they actually care about the human behind the need. They don't see problem first, Claris sees the person first. There are so many women and families in need in Los Angeles, and really what they are looking for is not just an answer to that need or that problem to be solved, but they're looking to someone to care. They're looking for that compassion, that authenticity, and that's what Claris offers.
So you've seen a little bit about how these partnerships help Claris fulfill its mission of equipping and caring for people before, during, and after they experience an unintended pregnancy or another sexual health concern. And tonight we're going to see more powerful examples of how this mission comes to life.
Everybody needs to understand that they're valuable. Everybody needs to understand that they're worthy.
We live in a very sexualized culture, and the youth today are in the thick of it. And if we don't have these real, open, honest conversations because of shame, because of fear, because of guilt, they can turn to other places. They can turn to pop culture. They can turn to Google.
Reality Check actually hits home to what people are really going through.
So we have a 4-part presentation series where we start out by talking about healthy relationships. How to first have a healthy relationship with ourselves, and then how to have a healthy relationship with other people. And once we've laid this groundwork, then we can start to have the conversations about sex. What is the purpose of sex? And can having sex now affect my future? Can it affect my health? What are the necessary conversations that I need to have with my partner in order to protect myself and them? And then we end the presentation series by talking about the media. The media is a huge part of youth culture today, whether it's sexting, social media, pornography. These are all conversations that we need to be having with the youth so that they know how their decisions with these things can impact them and others.
I thought it was very good that I came so I can learn new things and learn how to keep a relationship in check and keep myself in check.
But like if someone was to go down that path, how do they overcome it? And how do they set the boundaries of what is good and what isn't good? And so I thought it was really cool.
I want my children to have an accurate view of truth, of where does my value come from? How do I set boundaries? What is the purpose of dating? It's a topic that is not addressed at school, it's sometimes addressed at home, but in a community environment where people can interact and relate their own stories about this is imperative.
Reality check helps you how to be responsible when it becomes to sex, when it becomes to your partner. It helps everybody.
What makes it really different is conversational, in which me as a presenter, I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking with you.
Yes, we talk about facts and statistics, but it really comes down to connecting with the students. And I see it the most when I share the lessons I've learned in my own relationships. And you can see it in their eyes, they light up. And you can tell they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not alone in feeling that way.
Going to schools, going to organizations, and just getting to talk to people about what it looks like to be purposeful with their sexuality is incredibly empowering to them.
Showing youth that they're not alone and that we're here to help when it comes to navigating sexuality and relationships. This is really what Reality Check is all about.
I am Patrick, and I speak to teens in schools all over Los Angeles. Students will receive reality check presentations for 1 to 4 days in their classroom. They have a lot of questions, and believe me, I hear it all, and they're nervous to talk to their parents about sex.
And I'm Emily, and I speak to the parents of the teenagers. And for those of you who are parents, I get it. You're probably a little nervous to talk to your kids about sex too. We've discovered that Reality Check works best when we can equip both the teenagers and the parents to have honest, vulnerable conversations about sex and relationships. Tonight, you'll hear 2 snippets from actual presentations given to students and parents.
Now, I'd like for you to pretend that you are a room full of teenagers. And you're sitting in one of our healthy relationships presentations. You ready? Okay, kids, hold up one finger, not the middle one. I actually have to say this when I do this illustration, but look at your finger, look at it closely. What do you see? A fingerprint, I heard you. What's so special about a fingerprint? Well, it's simple. The fingerprint that you have never has, nor will it ever exist again. Your fingerprint is unique. Not even identical twins share the same fingerprint. So what's the download? Your fingerprint is an ever-present reminder that there never has been, nor will there ever be another you. It is a small yet significant reminder of your uniqueness. Now, this isn't a license for arrogance, nor is it a platform for pride. In fact, your uniqueness should harness humility. In other words, you are unique, and so is everyone you meet. We all have value, and we must treat each other as such. So here's the question. If you were born as an original, then why would you live your life as a copy? A copy of someone else's idea of what beauty is. A copy of your social media feed, a copy of what someone else says you should be. You're valuable. You are born with inherent worth, inherent importance, dignity, significance. You don't have to perform to have value. You just are valuable. Now live like it.
Thank you, Patrick. All right, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit and pretend that you are a room full of parents of teenagers. And for some of you, that is not a really big stretch. So welcome to the Empowered Parent presentation. Despite the eye rolls that you may get from your children, I'm here to remind you that you are still the most important voice in your child's life. The earlier you can establish yourself as the first source of information for sex and relationships, your child will be less tempted to seek out answers from friends, movies, social media. So one day, I found my son playing a video game on TV while watching YouTube on his iPad, while talking to a friend on his cell phone, while also doing homework. Can anybody else relate to that? Yeah. So that is the world that our kids are growing up in, and it is so different than anything that we experienced. It's so hard to understand, really. But one thing that hasn't changed is the adolescent brain. Okay, I know you're not here for a science lesson, but just track with me for a second. The prefrontal cortex is the area of the brain that houses our executive function. It controls emotional regulation and foresees consequences. This part of the brain is not completely developed until around age 25, which explains a lot when we're talking about teenage behavior. So the next time your teenager does something completely irrational, just remind yourself that they're functioning with a not completely fully integrated brain. But I have good news. So as the prefrontal cortex matures, teenagers will reason better. They will develop more control over their impulses, and they will make better judgments. So we have a lot to look forward to. As parents, the more we can understand the brain development, the more we can exercise compassion, and patience for our teenagers and help guide them through this intense time of growth. If you know a school that needs reality check, or you know of an amazing speaker that would love to join our team, come find us afterwards. We'd love to meet you and talk with you then. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a very simple statistic to tell you that I'm sort of embarrassed to say that I did not know. I was surprised to learn only recently that in the United States, nearly half of pregnancies each year are unintended. Rich, poor, young, old, married, single, it happens to people all around us, and yet it's something that we're often reluctant to talk about. The result is that many people feel trapped. They feel trapped by their circumstances, they feel trapped by the people around them, and because they feel trapped, some people believe that abortion is their only choice. Now, I know that talking about abortion may bring up a lot of different emotions in you. Statistics would show that at least a quarter of this audience has experienced abortion directly. Our nation is talking about abortion right now, often from very conflicting and very passionate perspectives. Now, we're not here to talk about laws or politics. That has never been the focus of Claris. Our priority and our absolute focus is caring for people, no matter how the laws change. And that includes every single person in this audience. Claris does not perform abortions, but we pour our hearts and our efforts into helping women, their partners, and their families know that they are not trapped. And this is a hope that is desperately needed in today's society. It's also a hope that would seem absolutely impossible and pie in the sky without practical outside support. Claris offers this support in the form of medical care, therapy, mentorship, and we connect people to critical resources so that they know that their life matters. And we are with them as they wrestle with these life-changing decisions, no matter how complicated they are, and we stick with them for months and even for years to come. So now would you please join me in welcoming Devin.
2018, I moved to California with my 2 young kids. I was fleeing a dangerous domestic violence situation, eager for a new beginning. We'd only been in California for 6 months when a neighbor made a report that he saw my children outside alone. It was my word against his. I didn't have any family or friends to support me in this new state, and my kids were removed from my custody. I was devastated and determined to do anything to get my kids back. I was in a new relationship at the time, a much healthier relationship than my last, and we had found out that I was pregnant again. My boyfriend started Googling options for medical care and found Claris Health. We made a medical appointment and were immediately met with the kindest patient advocate, Nancy. I was so scared to be pregnant again and didn't know what to do. I felt completely overwhelmed. My family turned their back on me. I wasn't sure if the system would take this baby too. I felt so alone until Nancy shined a light of hope on my situation. She told me about Claris parenting program and the court-mandated classes that were offered for free to anyone who needs them. I knew this could be my chance to get my older kids back and create a healthier future for this new baby. I immediately signed up. This program helped me drastically. I learned how to change the patterns of my past and not repeat the mistakes my own parents had made. My dad gave up his rights when I was born, and I was raised by my mom and my stepdad. There were times I was hit with a belt so hard I could not stand. I learned in the parenting classes how to parent my kids in a new, different way. I learned how to be patient and redirect them and not be physical like my parents were. Because of the support from Claris, I got my kids back in April of 2020. And my boyfriend and I welcomed the son the same month. We have since gotten married and welcomed twin girls in 2021. And another son just 4 months ago. Each time come to Claris for help and support. Last month, we moved into our 4-bedroom townhome that fits our large family. I have also reconnected with my own family. I am thankful for all that God has done in my life. And it is my dream to become a counselor to help others facing similar challenges. I've helped other women get their kids back already. I want to use what I went through to turn negative into a positive. Claris was a safe place when I was escaping an unsafe situation. Even when my own family turned their backs on me, Claris became family to me. Now, I love to introduce you to my beautiful family. Come here, baby. Come here, Mama. Zella. Come here. Come on. Come here. It's okay, Zarek. It's okay. It's okay. Where's Lala? I mean, Zora. You see it? Okay. Come on, let's go. Go down. Perfect. Let's go.
At Claris Health, we have a program called Centering Pregnancy, which brings along or pairs prenatal care with education, and it's held in a group setting with a cohort of expecting mothers that are all due around the same time. They start at about 12 weeks, and there are 10 sessions. We live in a country, and not many people know this, but we rank behind 30 other countries in maternal and infant mortality and morbidity. And typically, women of color, Black and brown women, there are higher rates of inequalities, and not just in the care that's delivered to them, but their experience of it as well. And it's led them to mistrust healthcare. So centering pregnancy, really the whole goal of that is to reduce the inequities that happen in Black and brown women And it really helps them to start to learn how to start trusting healthcare workers again.
What you're watching in centering is the birthing women run the group. You're just facilitating. You're just kind of, guiding, the conversation, but they actually are adding the meat and potatoes to the conversation while you're dropping nuggets of education, for example, nutrition, and is this normal to be happening in my body and things like that. So this model of centering is pretty amazing.
Through this entire process of taking a woman out of this model of one-on-one care and into a group care setting where it's a transformative experience all the way through the pregnancy, the studies have shown that it really does reduce these risks that we see. And equally as important, it enhances somebody's experience.
I think that centering is improving outcomes and in particular populations because it is a model that largely is putting the woman in control. She's in the driver's seat of her care. She is making decisions with her midwife partner or her physician partner. You're actually getting to see the beauty in pregnancy.
So I'm kind of nervous because it's my first pregnancy, so it's just a little scary. But Claris has been able to give me a lot of information and help with reducing me being nervous or scared.
They know you by name when you walk in, and I know they have a lot of patients, but I'm sure they know everyone's name. So it just shows you how much they really care and are invested in their patients.
So we are here as women from Malibu Gathering Church to host a shower for one of the Claris centering groups, prenatal groups. So I'm a mom of 3, so I've been through this a few times, but that first transition from not being a parent to having your first child, I know it's so significant and it looks different for everyone. But I also know how much you really need support, both beforehand in preparation and after. And we just want to do our small part to help support Claris in how they're supporting these women.
Without Claris, I honestly don't know where I would have gone or what would have been my options in the sense of trying to find a doctor. I feel like that was very overwhelming.
For me or women like myself to be able to find a place like Claris in the low-income communities is really helpful to us. And I just wish more women would know about it because they offer care that I've never seen anywhere else.
I'm super grateful to be able to be a part of Centering Pregnancy, but also grateful to our donors for allowing us to do what we do here.
I'm Tracy, one of the program coordinators at Claris. We get referrals from all over the city and even the nation from parents, social workers, and others looking for help in situations where children have been removed or at risk of being removed from the home. I have the privilege of meeting with these parents often on Zoom. My heart breaks over many of the stories, and I deeply empathize as I escaped an abusive marriage many years ago when I had little children. The best part of my job is that it involves grieving and rejoicing with people and holding their hand through these difficult situations, even if we never meet in person. Tonight is extra special for me because of months of meeting on Zoom, I finally met Ronald face to face for the very first time. Let me introduce you to him now so you can hear his story.
Last May, I was forced into one of the difficult times in my life. My wife comes to me and she says she wasn't sure she loved me and didn't want me married anymore. She left the kids and I shortly after that. I was devastated. My son was 2, my daughter was 10 months old. I went into survival mode, but when I was completely overwhelmed. I never thought I'd be raising my kids on my own. The reality made me look for help. I'm a PE teacher and a coach at a school in South Central, and I also work for the county for Parks and Rec. I reached out for the staff at my school for research, and they recommended Claris Health. I immediately connected with Tracy and started meeting with her every week on Zoom. I grew up in a traditional Latino household. My dad went to work, he was tough and wasn't very hands-on. I didn't want to be that kind of dad who only sees their kids at night. I knew I needed to be different for my kids, but I didn't know how. Week by week, I met with Tracy and I started to learn how to be the best dad for my kids. Tracy taught me that it's okay to be emotional. She helped me believe that I'm worth of love. She taught me how to talk to my kids in a softer way. I had to learn to be both mom and dad to my kids. I even started using the parenting techniques I learned with the students at school. For the first time, I had confidence that is a teacher. As I look to the future, I'm excited to watch my kids grow up to see all the little details in their life, to be the one listening to their emotion and help them. I can't thank Claris enough for being there for me in one of the worst moments and giving me the tools to be a better dad.
Yo conocí de Claris Health porque estaba en mi embarazo, ya tenía casi 7 meses y no tenía absolutamente nada. Pues era plena pandemia, era el 2020. Mi esposo estaba desempleado, yo estaba desempleada.
I needed a lot of emotional support during this last pregnancy because I was just like, nah, I'm not ready for this. I'm not sure if I can handle another baby right after having my first one turned 1. I found out I was pregnant again and I was shaken to my core.
We took a test and, test they say 3 minutes. It popped up like this, like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, no, so I took another one, you're pregnant. When I told him, he's like, are you serious? Like, I have a 30-minute video of Egypt in like 5 different emotions. I found out I didn't have health insurance. So I went through the county and it took them 3 months. I sat and I cried and I was scared because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get to see the baby. I came down to Los Angeles and my sister, she contacted me and she's like, remember that place that I used to go to named Claris?
My own daughter faced an unplanned pregnancy and literally didn't know what to do. A dear friend just said, let me help you, and brought my daughter to Claris. And I just, from the moment she came home, she was just armed with information. It took the pressure off of us to solve and to be the Lone Rangers trying to help our daughter navigate this just incredibly difficult situation. Within a couple of additional weeks, she had made the decision, which in some ways might be the hardest one, which is to do an open adoption.
Entonces, fue ayuda que ella me consiguió un padrino y fue una iglesia. Prácticamente el Señor me dio todo. Me regaló cuna, me regaló ropa, regaló pañales, wipes, todo lo necesario para recibir a mi bebé. Me hizo sentir muy bien. Yo lloré de alegría porque cuando yo vine a este país hace 4 años, no tuve ayuda de nadie. Siempre buscan la manera cómo ayudar y sí cumplen.
You know how your mom is supposed to be like the nurturer? She's the one who like holds your hand and guides you through each phase of your life, if you're blessed enough to still have her around. That's how I feel about Claris. Claris really did an amazing job of giving me things and knowledge and tools and even just grace, in times that I didn't even know that I needed them. I think they've been a major safety net throughout my pregnancy journey and my evolution as just a mom and a woman. I honestly feel like a completely different person. I actually know that I am a completely different person.
To make a registry and send it out to your family, knowing that there's hard times and knowing that they can't really help. They can, but not like you need. Without Claris, I don't know what we would have.
Having that additional support from people who aren't related to you, they're not obligated to do anything for you, yet they contributed so much to Given, taking care of our son, that's something that we are eternally grateful for, absolutely. Also encourages us to want to help somebody else in a situation with their kid, because you have your own predisposed idea of what it is to be a father or a mother, but then once you actually have a son or a daughter, it changes. It's not easy, definitely not easy. So their help was, it was everything to us.
Josephine Ann was born in 2014, and it was probably the most beautiful experience I ever could have imagined. And just feel so much gratitude. Even though it's not how I dreamt of becoming a grandmother, I wouldn't change it for the world. I want Claris everywhere, all over the world, and it's really a shame that it's only in LA. But if we didn't have Claris, I think that it would be very dark and very sad, because I don't know of any other organization doing the work that Claris is doing, providing the just really amazing guidance and compassion. And I can't imagine a world without Claris.
I hear so much of women like, I don't know where to go. I'm not being heard. I'm not being listened to. I don't feel safe with this doctor, but I don't have any other option or don't know of any other option. And I think that's where Claris fits in. There's a safe space for you at Claris Health.
Okay, this is the exciting part where I get to give you an update. We have raised almost $314,000 so far. So thank you so much for your generosity. And to those of you out there, remember, we have someone who is matching every dollar up to $100,000. So please keep giving. If you have been moved by what you've seen and heard so far, and seriously, how could you not be? And you want to help provide this care, things like medical treatment, baby supplies, counseling, development of those prefrontal cortices. What would be the plural of? I feel like Matt should know this. Okay. Then please pause and give now. There is no amount too small, and we would also encourage you to consider a monthly donation. Plus, that makes it a lot easier when you have that, automatic recurring payment. Helps, one less thing to remember. It's a wonderful way to be a regular part of the work that Claris is doing all over the city, all over the country with our digital programs. And these pregnancy decisions affect families right now and even future families. And the truth is that they affect all of us because we are a community and we are all connected. Some people in this audience have experienced a situation like this firsthand. Some have walked through a situation with a loved one, and some of us simply see the intense need and the bewilderment around us and sense a deep calling to help others. And you may be feeling that deep stirring in your heart right now. You can play a critical role in helping people believe that a pregnancy can be a beautiful catalyst for change. We can all fight for brighter futures, and when we do so, it's often our own lives that are radically changed. Now let's hear from some of our donors.
What I first loved about Claris was the way they really came around moms. My mom was a single mom, and we struggled quite a bit. So I think the thought of how my mom used to feel in really tough times, and if she had known somebody was there for her like Claris, I think it would have made a big difference.
I got a call from a friend who said she was working at Claris at the time, and they needed video production services, and that's what our company does. But very quickly, we realized that it wasn't just going to be a job for us. It was something that that connected with where we were at.
I think when I moved to Los Angeles, I wanted to find a way that I could help women and children. And I felt that being a monthly donor for me, it wasn't enough. So I wanted to find ways that I could be hands-on with the moms and children that we were serving. When you're meeting the families that you're serving, the siblings and the grandmas and the aunts and the uncles and getting to know the families, that's on a whole different level. I learned that there is not a typical Claris person. It is all ages, it's all backgrounds. And I think for me, I was like, I could put myself in those women's shoes and be like, this could be me walking through the doors of Claris. And so that was eye-opening for me.
being able to accept women for whatever choices, they have made or they are making or they will make is so important. I think, it's a good reminder that this may be, the one time that they, meet someone who can really meet them where they are, in their position in life. And so I think that's really what's exciting to me about Claris is it provides so many resources for women and families at different stages of their life. And regardless of which choices they have made or will make, that support is still there.
One of my favorite things to do is to serve at the baby store, and that's one of the ways that Claris has made an impact on my life, is to be able to be a part of Claris and to be able to serve there and know that what you're doing behind the scenes is helping someone else. It's just really fulfilling.
I mean, there's been so many times when I've sat behind the camera in tears, just like supposed to be doing a job and trying to hold it together, but just touched by the impact of real, actual change. You can manufacture that. We live in a city full of manufactured stories, but as the production crew, what's real and what's not. We're not selling some product that has to be propped up and made up. It's real.
I think Claris has made an impact on my life by seeing the impact it's made on others' lives. And that's been really, for me, I think it's helped center myself personally, when you're in the middle of a busy life with, work and motherhood, and you realize that, one, it reminds me how blessed I am to be able to, be a small part of this. And that we really are a community. We really, need to help each other. And, whatever way that I can be a small part of it, I feel very privileged.
They're just constantly striving to be better and reach more people and touch more lives. To anybody who is thinking about maybe helping Claris or looking for ways to get involved, it is literally one of the most rewarding things you can do.
I think there's lots of ways that we can spend our time and our money and our effort, but most of those things are fleeting. Most of them, not only will they probably change with the next trend, but they certainly won't outlast us. But when we give towards a place like Claris, it will change lives, and those lives will change lives. And there's no way to measure that impact, and that, to me, is the perfect place to support.
In 2016, I moved to LA and found Claris after searching for a place to volunteer. During the orientation, one of the client testimonies I read hit me pretty hard. She was me. I realized then that I needed continued healing from my past abortion before I could serve others. I then joined the 10-week post-abortion support group at the time and was introduced to the most unique community of women of all ages and different backgrounds. They were just like me, but on their own journeys. It was there that I was able to receive the love from God, which allowed me to live more freely within my own story. Since then, I've continued to volunteer with Claris and sponsor a table for several years so that I can more intentionally share my passion for this cause with the people in my life.
In 2019, I walked through the doors of Claris pregnant with my oldest son. Through supportive medical services and therapy, Claris offered me a safe space to be seen, heard, and nurtured, to heal from past pain and prepare for motherhood. I felt so supported that I returned when I got pregnant again and joined the prenatal care program. Claris has been a catalyst to my evolution and growth mentally and spiritually. With their push, support, I was able to orchestrate a glorious home birth. I've tapped back into my passions and designed a fashionable postpartum clothing line that supports the transforming bodies of mothers having babies and getting right back to work.
In 1999, I walked through the doors of Claris carrying a painful secret of my own past abortion.
I was desperate for help, and I reluctantly enrolled in the post-abortion support group at Claris, and then I just planned to move on with my life. After all, I had massive Pepperdine loans that I had to pay off. But it was during that support group that my heart began to change, and I learned to forgive myself, and for the first time, I believed that I could still have a hopeful and promising future. See, Claris helped all of us believe that new beginnings and brighter days are possible.
I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I see it in my heart and beat those pains. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh, ashes fall from burning dreams. Oh, never lived through times like these. Oh, if you find it hard to breathe in the dark, in the dark. Oh, I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear I feel it in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh. Oh, if your screams don't make a sound. Oh, if your walls are crashing down. Oh, if your heart just screams too loud in the night, in the night. Yes, I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh, oh, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. I know there's gonna be some brighter days. Oh, I know there's gonna be some brighter days.
We can all go home. That was incredible. Thank you for that precious reminder that there are going to be some brighter days. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. It is So good to be back at the Skirball and to see all of your faces. It's been several years, so we're so happy to be here. And gosh, there's so many new people and all of you watching at home. We are so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. So I know many of you have championed this cause alongside me for the last 21 years that I've now served in this role. So thank you for being here. Last October, and I was in the middle of making several gala follow-up calls and emails, and I noticed an email from a guy named Aiden, and it read, "My girlfriend's pregnant. We have no idea what to do. I'm wondering if you're available to chat." And I've known Aiden since he was just the cutest little toddler that I babysat when I was at Pepperdine. He's a part of an incredible family that has been very special to me for many years. And within just a few hours, I was on the phone with Aiden and his girlfriend, and they were incredibly conflicted. She wasn't sure that she could raise a baby, and he was trying to be supportive, but they were freaked out about what the future might look like. We talked through the pros and the cons of each decision, and I found some resources in the state that they lived, and we agreed to talk again very soon. And the next day, I got a text from his mom, and it said, "Little did we know at the Claris Gala on Saturday night just how close to home this topic would become in just a few short days." She said, "This really is a family issue." So as you sit here tonight, you might be thinking of a loved one who has experienced something similar, or just like Aiden's family, this might be something that you encounter in the future. See, society often sees unintended pregnancy as the end of the world. But as you've seen over and over tonight, it can be the very catalyst for a new, beautiful beginning. Isaiah 43:19 says it perfectly. It says, "For I am about to do something new. See, I've already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland." See, this belief that God inspires new beginnings propelled us to build this unique model of care. See, when people come to Claris, they're not a number. Their appointments aren't exactly 6 minutes long. They're treated like family. They're given all the time and the space that they need to process everything that they're experiencing. And this type of personalized care is critical, maybe now more than ever. Now, there are nearly 70,000 people experiencing homelessness right here in LA County. And since the pandemic, overdose deaths have jumped by 30%. And we're seeing a global surge. You heard some stories tonight, a global surge of domestic violence cases. See, the pregnant women that Claris serves and their partners and their children are a part of these statistics. And their pregnancy is often the pawn of this great political divide. It creates so much confusion. And let me tell you, when you work in women's health in 2022, people really want to put you in a box. And they want you to choose between extremes, saying what you're for or what you're against. I was driving home a few weeks ago with all of this on my mind. And I moved to Thousand Oaks last year, which means that I'm in the car about 3 hours a day. So I have plenty of time to think about what happened in each and every day. But that day I'd been talking to foundations and to these tech companies and lawyers, fighting off attacks from all sides of people who've wrongfully labeled us or who are threatening the reputation that we've built because our model doesn't conform to their political agenda. And then in the middle of Malibu Canyon, my phone rang and I heard the voice of a past patient who I've tried to help for many years through her delivery, her addiction, foster care. She was now living in a parking lot in another state, and she was in the middle of a psychotic episode. She didn't know where her daughter was, and she was begging me for help. And then her phone died right as I pulled into my driveway. And I tried not to panic, so I said a prayer, and I called the police and any contact that I could think of in that state. And then I walked into my house, and I tripped over a soccer shoe, which happens every night. And I heard my youngest daughter scream from the other room, "What's for dinner?" Not, "Hi, how was your day?" It's, "What are you making me for food right now?" And I honestly had this thought for a minute. I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So truthfully, it's been a hard year. And it's been a hard year on the heels of a few other hard years. But there was this time in my life that I never thought that I'd become a mom. I didn't believe that someone like me deserved a second chance. And the truth is that I wouldn't be who I am today without my whole story. See, the painful experiences, the brokenness of my past allowed me to be overwhelmed with joy when I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter, my oldest daughter, Riley. And the loss in my past prepared my heart for the adoption, the open adoption of my youngest daughter, Addie. See, the hard parts of my story didn't just help me realize this calling to be here at Claris. It also made sure that I didn't miss the greatest and the biggest gift of all, which is raising my two beautiful, wild, spunky, now we have a teenager, girls. So walking into that insane house and tripping over that shoe that night, I was reminded that it is worth it. Every little thing that we do, every patient interaction, every battle to create this model and to share our messaging, every frustration when people don't understand us or they mislabel us, it's all worth it. And we have to keep fighting for people like Devin and Ronald and Cassidy and Kyra and so many more. And I'm not alone. There is an entire team at Claris who've said yes to this calling. Many of them turned down, yes, give it up for them. You've seen them running around the room tonight and checking you in, and they are incredible people who, many of them have turned down better paying jobs or opportunity to work from the comfort of their own home every single day, and they've said yes to serving on the front lines. They've said yes to allowing their lives to be transformed day after day, and I'm so grateful for each one of them. And this invitation is available to each one of you too. The next time that you learn about a pregnancy, a challenging pregnancy situation, you can be that safe, non-judgmental person by asking them how they're doing, what they need, how you can help. And you can join Claris and help us serve another 1,700 people next year with more than 6,000 services. And here are just a few of the specific plans that we have to create some new beginnings for families in LA in the next year. First, we're going to grow that parenting program, specifically some of the court-mandated classes that you heard about tonight. We want to move at least 275 moms and dads from crisis to stability. And we're expanding our virtual care services. We want to deliver that care directly into 500 homes around the country. And we plan to train at least 10 more agencies in LA, and we trained several in Austin and have plans for a few other cities so that they can learn our messaging and our approach to care. And we keep hearing from partners how critical this training is so that they can support pregnant women and their families. And last year at this event, I presented a vision of a very special project. It was a dream at that time. We wanted to build a permanent campus in South LA to bring like a one-stop shop where we can bring all of our comprehensive services to more women and families, and where we can invite other social service agencies to join us under one roof. Well, this year, we've moved from that dreaming into more of a planning and organizing phase because of some really generous gifts from some people in this room who've shown us that this is possible. So the dream has turned into a building concept. Yes. Dear board, that was a surprise for you. Our board has not seen the concept, so there you go. This is what it looks like. And it will be a place of new beginnings. We want to fill it with people who want to help others move, help our clients specifically move, remove the barriers that they face, including transportation, mistrust of the medical community, past trauma, and so much more. So we envision creating an environment that's welcoming, a real safe haven and a community center And thank you to all of you who've already been a part of this process so far. So while this city, this LA city, can appear dark and crazy at many times, there are so many wonderful things happening all around us every single day. And I know there's going to be some brighter days for you, for me, and for all the people that we serve. Thank you.
My name is Matt, and on June 6th, 2017, my wife Nicole and I received a text message from Talitha about a unique situation where social workers were asking for any families who might be able to care for a little baby girl who had just been born. 1 week later, our foster family agency incredibly called us about this same baby. 3 days later, we took her home from the hospital as her foster parents. This is Bailey, our youngest daughter. We were stepping out in love to care for a child through foster care. But what we did not know is that the staff at Claris had already been stepping out in love to care for Bailey and her birth mom as she was in crisis. Claris saw Bailey's birth mom as a person of worth and value and dignity. While Bailey was not able to be reunified with her birth mom and was adopted into our family a year and a half later, we are forever grateful to Claris and their love for Bailey and her birth mom in the midst of her crisis. We are humbled knowing that we are just one piece in this story of dozens and dozens of people who stepped out in love. And every person has a part to play in loving and caring for those who are hurting in our communities. Everything that has been talked about tonight happens because people like you have stepped out in love. To continue to care for people like Bailey's birth mom and thousands of others each year, and to see the vision shared by Talitha just a few moments ago come to life in the future. It will require those of you watching at home and those of you here to step out in love. That is why we are here. You have the opportunity to be a vital part of bringing this vision to life, to play a significant role in serving those who have stories similar to the ones that we have heard tonight. So we invite you to join us in doing that. You can become a clarity maker. You can join a group of monthly sponsors, the people who are dedicated to supporting the ongoing programs of Claris. These are the people who keep the lights on. This is extremely important. We love one-time gifts. We love one-time gifts. We do. But the ongoing work of Claris requires dedicated monthly sponsors to support all that is happening under the roof of Claris. $50 a month covers a medical visit for someone facing an unintended pregnancy. $100 a month sponsors all the support services that they need following a pregnancy decision. And $250 a month sends reality check to a local school. You can also make a one-time investment of any size to help fund this vision that Talitha just shared with us a few minutes ago. If you're watching online, now is the time to click donate. If you haven't done it, if you've done it already, now is another opportunity to click donate again. And if you're in the live audience here, there are bags on your table that include giving cards. There are also, as was mentioned earlier by Emily, QR codes inside your meal cards that will take you directly to a giving link. We ask that everyone here, everyone, if you're saying me, yes, you, everyone, please fill out a card or give online so that we can stay in touch. Thank you all for stepping out in love.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you so much to all of the brave individuals who shared their stories with us tonight. And thank you to all of you for joining us. We have at this point raised $365,000. So thank you so much to everyone who's donated. Thanks to all of you out there who have donated. Please keep giving. And at this moment, I would also like to thank our production crew behind the scenes who have perfectly orchestrated this evening. I don't know if you've seen everyone who's been, well, of course you haven't seen them because they're so good at their jobs, but they've been running around behind the scenes and all up and down stairs all day, and they're magnificent. So please keep donating, keep posting, keep sharing, keep talking about how to help in vital, impactful, and as we learned tonight, completely attainable ways. I think that that is one of the most important takeaways, is that there is something that each and every one of us can do. And Claris is full of wonderful ideas and full of love to make these ideas happen. There will be a recorded version of this program available on this site within the next few hours. So if you enjoyed this evening's program and you want to share it with your friends or rewatch it, you can do that over and over and over. But please do share it with anyone else who you think might be interested in what Claris's message is and what Claris has to bring. So good night, and God bless all of you. Thank you. And now we get the secret message.